A Greek doctor stands on the deck of a Phoenician warship. His name is Democedes, and he isn't healing anyone. He's sketching coastlines, counting harbors, measuring the distances between ports, all on a secret mission for the most powerful man on earth, Darius, king of Persia. Years before any Persian army crossed into Europe, the empire was already mapping Greece for conquest. The revenge story most people know came later. The planning came first. To understand how Persia got here, we need to rewind, right, to the battle that ended everything, and the man who refused to accept it was over. Right? Along the western coast of modern Turkey lived the Ionian Greeks, Greek-speaking populations who had fallen under Persian rule decades earlier. In 499 BC, they revolted. For 5 years, they fought to break free. Athens and the small city of Eretria sent a squadron of ships across the Aegean to help them. But by 494, Persia had assembled a massive fleet to crush the rebellion once and for all. The decisive blow fell at Lade, a small island off the coast of Miletus, the largest naval engagement in the Aegean to that date. Over 350 rebel warships faced an even larger Persian fleet. Before battle, a Phocian commander named Dionysius drilled the allied crews relentlessly, demanding they practice complex maneuvers in the open water. The other contingents grew resentful and refused. When the fleets finally clashed, entire Greek squadrons defected or fled without fighting. The Persian victory was total. The Ionian Revolt was finished. But ladder didn't produce tidy closure. It scattered violent, capable men across the Mediterranean. Dionysius escaped with 3 ships. Rather than fleeing to safety, he made a calculation. Every Persian warship was concentrated at Lade. That meant the Phoenician coast, Persia's merchant lifeline, lay completely undefended. He sailed straight into enemy waters and raided Phoenician trading vessels, loading his ships with plunder. Then he crossed the entire Mediterranean to Sicily. There he set himself up as a pirate, preying on Phoenician, Carthaginian, and Etruscan merchant shipping, but never once attacking a Greek vessel. 3 ships, 1 commander, exploiting the blind spot an empire created by massing its own fleet. The revolt was over. Its consequences were just beginning. Now we turn to the event Darius would later weaponize. Rewind to 499 BC, the early days of the revolt. Athens and Eretria sent a small force across the Aegean, just 20 Athenian ships and a handful from Eretria. These troops joined the rebels and marched on Sardis, the seat of Persian power in western Anatolia, not one of the great capitals, but a major provincial center. The city burned, a royal seat, torched by foreigners, a genuine humiliation for the great king. But Athens withdrew its support almost immediately. Their involvement lasted weeks, not years. That distinction matters. Sardis gave Darius his story, but the plan was already in motion before the fires at Sardis had even been lit. Years before the revolt, Darius dispatched the Greek doctor Democedes aboard a Phoenician warship to scout Greece. Democedes came from Croton, a Greek city in southern Italy. His mission wasn't limited to Athens or even mainland Greece. He mapped harbors, coastlines, and sea routes extending through the Greek world to southern Italy, and possibly as far as the coast of modern southern France. This wasn't intelligence for a punitive raid against one city. This was reconnaissance for continent-spanning conquest. The Persians recognized that Greek military power, their armies and fleets, represented the last serious resistance between the empire and the dominion stretching to the western edge of the known world. A pretext, a publicly stated reason for action that masked the real motive. Watch how Sardis transforms. What happened? Athens sent 20 ships, participated briefly in one raid, then went home. No sustained campaign, no strategic commitment. How Darius framed it: unprovoked aggression against a royal capital, an unforgivable offense. The announced targets were deliberately narrow: Athens and Eretria, to be punished for their role in the revolt. The true strategic horizon stretched far beyond two cities. Even an absolute monarch benefits from a defensible reason for war. Mobilizing troops from dozens of subject nations, fleets from Phoenicia and Egypt, logistics across thousands of miles, all of it required a story people could repeat. Sardis was that story. Step back and look at the full architecture. A revolt breaks out in Ionia. Athens briefly intervenes and produces a useful humiliation at Sardis. Meanwhile, a reconnaissance mission that predates the revolt reveals the true scope of Persian ambition, harbors mapped from Greece to Italy. Darius weaves these threads into a declaration of war framing continent-spanning conquest as justified punishment for a single offense. The stated cause of war is never the full story. Empires repeat this pattern across millennia. Athens didn't provoke Persia into invading Greece. Athens gave Persia a story to tell while executing a plan already in motion. Understanding this distinction between pretext and motive is essential for reading the logic of imperial expansion in any era. And that grand ambition was about to collide with reality at a coastal plain called Marathon.